about to be live, and hopefully we sound good. And by we, I mean me. And by good, I mean okay, because my setup ain't great, but it's going to work. Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. I'm just going to bring up my chat room here on my phone, which you'll kind of see. I've been waiting to do this video for a few weeks. I'm really excited. This package came about 2 weeks ago, right before Thanksgiving. I didn't have a chance to get into unboxing this game yet, but I'm really stoked to get into it because it is a gorgeous looking game. And so today we're going to be unboxing Etherfields by Awaken Realms. This is my first Awaken Realms game. I backed it on Kickstarter. I also was a late pledge backer for Tainted Grail, but I messed up and did not get 2-wave delivery, so I haven't gotten any of that content yet. I know that's going to be coming soon, but I was smart this time, and I did get first wave shipping for Etherfields, so we're going to be unboxing at least some of that today. Definitely the core game, maybe the creatures. We'll see if we get to the 5th player expansion. We'll check it out. I'm here with my producer, Chelsea, who's going to be helping me make sure that everything looks good and sounds good. We don't have a great setup for unboxing videos, but we're going to do them anyways because they're a lot of fun, and we're really excited for some of the games that we have coming from Kickstarters and stuff, because I back way too many Kickstarters, and I wanted to start showing off the stuff that I get. So, Etherfields, what is it? It is a fully cooperative dream exploration narrative deck building adventure game with awesome minis and a bunch of other cool stuff. Seems like really high production value to all the bits. This is a heavy box. It is like 10 pounds. I don't know. It's crazy. Maybe not 10 pounds, but it's pretty damn heavy. I haven't gone through the entire rulebook yet. I have glanced at it. I've looked at the setup, some of the basic stuff, but I'm going to be just as surprised as everybody else as I start digging into this and seeing what's actually in there. Before I show off the main game, though, I got some goodies from Awaken Realms that came with the box. It came in a giant, cool box that I'm not going to grab right now, but it had Etherfields written on the sides and everything. It was a really cool, very thematic looking box with like filigreed sides and everything. Super cool. But when I opened up the box, the first thing I saw was a teaser kit for ISS Vanguard, which is their next game that's coming to GameFound, not to Kickstarter. That's, I believe, Awaken Realms pledge manager, and a pledge manager that a lot of companies I like games from use. So this was a neat little gift. I knew this was coming from a recent Kickstarter update from Awaken Realms. Not going to get too deep into that because this isn't the main thing that we're looking at today. But we are going to shut down those pesky notifications for a couple hours. That's okay. Cool. So what's inside here? I don't really know a whole lot about ISS Vanguard other than it's a neat looking sci-fi game. Huh. Cool. Well, first thing in here is, we'll unbox this because this is a small little piece. Seems thematic here. Hold on. Kind of cool. Dog tag. Neat. Let's see. Hopefully you can see kind of what's going on there. Kind of a neat pewter dog tag with the logo of the game on it. Kind of digging that. That's pretty neat. Nice little extra I wasn't expecting at the beginning. Welcome to the Etherfields. A little bit of information in a pamphlet there about the game that we're unboxing today. Some information, looks like, and a teaser for what's coming in Wave 2, whenever that makes it to my doorstep. An envelope with that nice filigreed Etherfields logo. And it says open here. So let's see. Okay, this is a nice letter here from the company with their logo and some information about what to do with any issues with the game. That's pretty neat. Dear backer, we are delighted to deliver to you the fruit of our countless days of work, dedication, and massive effort of our entire team, the Etherfields board game. And I'm sure that's accurate because I know that designing board games is a great amount of work. Cool. It's a nice little thing about what's in the box. I'll probably read over this stuff later on, but it's a nice little touch that they really add a lot of like extra stuff to include with their Kickstarter products. And then this book about ISS Vanguard seems neat. A little bit of information about the world that they're going to be building for that game. Very cool. I'm interested in ISS Vanguard. I've backed a lot of projects recently, so I have to think about the financial viability of backing another game, but definitely a nice touch that they added all this cool stuff in this neat little folding box. And the dog tags are kind of neat. It's a cool little meta relic of the game. Awesome. Well, like I said, that's a cool little thing that Awaken Realms seems to. I think that maybe they do this kind of stuff with other of their projects too, which is cool. Another neat little thing that came with my copy of Etherfields are these little keys, these metal keys that I believe have some amount of in-game significance. I think they're used for certain, like as markers in the game. It's a nice little brass-looking key. There's 4 of them in the package. Pretty cool. I like these a lot. I like little bits and pieces like this. Coins and keys and other little things that come with special edition board games. They kind of make, you know, I don't need them obviously, but sometimes I like to get a little bit of bling or chrome for my board games, and this is a nice touch to add. Probably a backer exclusive kind of thing since it's not in the main box. There's 2 different sizes, so that's the small one. So just to compare the 2 sizes of key. Not sure, like I said, exactly what they have significance for in the game, because I have not read through the whole manual, but like I said, nice little bit of extra chrome to go with it. And I know that Awaken Realms is kind of a company known for its chrome. All the extra little bits and pieces you can get. There's some cool card holders, like engraved or 3D printed card holders for Etherfields that I'm considering adding to my second wave shipment because they look really cool. So that's the packet of keys. I also got the playmat. Maybe we'll check this out later on, but wanted to let everyone know, got that too. But I think that that's mostly a kind of recreation of the mat of the board that's going to be in the box. And yes, Gaming Grey Wolf, we love to live shiny and chrome, and we will ride eternal to Valhalla. All right, so Etherfields, here it is. This is the big thing. This is the one that we're all interested in, that we all want to see. Right? That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. That's the only reason I exist, is to unbox Etherfields for all of you right now. Cool cover art. I like kind of this minimalist, I don't know, not minimalist, but kind of evocative cover with this probably dreamer here. I know that the characters you play in this game are called dreamers, so I'm assuming that's one of our dreamers. And on the back, we've got a cool kind of Alice in Wonderland, mystical, colorful thing with a guy who looks like he's typing on a typewriter. We've got one of the masks. I know masks play a part in this game, but I don't know how exactly. some reviewers' opinions. Some people I really like here, like Rado and Man vs. Meeple. Looks like they had some nice things to say about Etherfield, so that gives me a good bit of confidence that this is going to be something I'm going to enjoy too. Contents and a little bit of information about the game. Etherfields is a narrative cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. A series of unique dreams awaits you to discover them through tense exploration and tactical encounters. Sounds like my kind of game. Tactical encounters, exploration, narrative. This is all the stuff that I really, really enjoy. But let's go ahead and see what's inside, because that's what I'm excited about. I want to know what's inside this big, heavy box that has to rate as one of the heaviest board game boxes I've ever received. It's not quite as heavy as Gloomhaven, I don't think, especially after I put that broken token wooden insert into Gloomhaven, but I don't know. It's close. Yes, this is a very dreamy experience. Thank you to my friend Doom Legume for logging on to watch me unbox Etherfields. This gorgeous game. Hopefully, once we can actually have everyone get together and play games in the same room again, hopefully this will be one of the games that we get a chance to bring to the table. All right, so this time, when I did Ultra Quest, I'd already cut the cellophane off. This time we're doing the whole process here live. Here it comes. It's a tall box, so this is going to take a minute. Oh, that's a familiar sight, honestly. I don't know who the artist is. No, unfortunately. There's probably some information about that in the rules here. But no, let's take a look first at the rulebook. Aha. Most important part of any game, right? Alright, let's see if I can figure out anything about the artist, if that information is available in the book. Yes, a bit of stuff. Graphic design by Adrian Radzian and Andrzej Potoranos. I know that this is a Polish company, so apologies if I don't know how to pronounce these names right. Mikhail Orazk is the main designer. I believe he does a lot of the stuff for Awakened Realms. I definitely know that name. They thanked the people who did the hand-painted minis and stuff. Very cool. Yeah, I don't see lead artists, so I'm assuming maybe those are going to be the graphic design and all of that stuff. But yeah, so there's the rule book. Obviously, lots of important information in there. It's a pretty packed rule book. So I don't know if you're going to be able to get a lot of detail out of that. But you can see these are all the components and all the layout for that kind of stuff. I know that this game has like a saving feature where you can, keep your progress from campaign throughout a campaign. Setup, board layout, all that important stuff. Basic rules. So I got a little bit into the rulebook, and it seems like one of the big things about this game is that it has a basic set of rules, and then as you go through the campaign, you're unlocking new things, you're opening packages, you're learning new rules. So it's going to be a bit like a legacy game, but I believe it's a replayable one, not like Pandemic Legacy where you're ripping up cards and all that stuff. But you will be kind of picking up more rules as you go that build off of a basic set of mechanics. And I know that deck building is kind of like one of the main player mechanics in this game. Slumber and Dreams. These are two different states of the game when different things are going on. Tiles are a big part of this game. You lay out tiles on the board and kind of create these maps. And on the box it says that one of the things you do in the game is actually look for hidden information on the game pieces, kind of like an escape room, to figure out where to go next or to solve mysteries and gain clues and stuff. Movement rules, very important. Dream gate tiles. The turn deck seems like a randomized thing. Dreamer actions. These are going to be the actions that you can take in game. Like I said, this is a lot of text. You're not seeing a whole lot of it, so you can download the rulebook at the Awaken Realms webpage and check it out that way. And then you can see some of the other cool art for yourself. Like I see these cool little, hopefully you can see this, these little crow guys down on the rules. I like them. That's cool. But yeah, go ahead if you're interested. Check out the rulebook at the Awaken Realms website. That'll give you a much closer look at all of this. Now what do we have here? The secret scripts. I'm probably not going to open this up. Maybe a little bit, but I don't want to hide anything or trick myself, or not trick myself. I don't want to spoil anything, especially after reading probably a spoiler for The Mandalorian yesterday, which Chelsea and I just started. So I have this bad tendency of spoiling things for myself, but okay. This is like all text. This looks like different story points. So like 326. So there's going to be probably something in the game that points me to that. Kind of choose your own adventure style. If anyone's played like Legacy of Dragonholt, it had a similar setup to this, I feel like. So that's going to be familiar. So yeah, these are story points and different bits of detail. Folklore the Affliction uses a similar system for its narrative stuff. So familiar. And this is a big one. Wow. This is 48 pages of narrative. That's exciting. Especially for somebody like me who loves narrative games. That's super cool. So that's that. We've got some card holders here. Looks like these are for the tiles. The tiles, which are, I believe, just square, large printed cards. A 3x3 grid here. This looks like probably stuff for keeping your place in the game, something like that. So that's a nice touch. All right, here we go. This is the exciting part. And you know what? This box is so big, and my table is not. I might kind of change my layout here so that you can see what I'm assuming is going to be this big, very impressive board. Yeah, similar to Folklore, exactly. All right. Wow. All right. I was very impressed with the Altar Quest board. I think I'm going to have an equally impressed reaction with the Etherfields board. Wow, and it's a big one. Another big board. It's going to be hard probably to show off all of this on this camera, but let's see what we can do. So I read the description of the board last night and promptly forgot a lot of it. So I don't remember. So I know this is like where you lay out your kind of your dream, either your dream map or your slumber map. Not sure. These are your item slots and your extra item. This is the clock that shows how much time you have to spend. We've got like clues and flaws or something like that. I think this is the turn order and discard. So one of the things that really attracted me to this game was this kind of cool, dark, gothic, spooky aesthetic of it. And I started realizing, because I've been doing a playthrough of Bloodborne, hopefully you've all been joining me for that, that this kind of has a similar vibe to Bloodborne, right? Like, not totally, but just in that there's this dream, these mysteries, these monsters that haunt you while you're moving through this dream world. This is a really impressive board here. I'm going to try to show the other side of the top part here. Just going to kind of fold it up. Sorry I don't have a better table for this, but yeah. Here's like another part of the map. You got a, looks like a 3x4 layout here with this really cool statue dreamer and the mask. This is where you keep the items in the game that you're not using or that you have access to kind of in an inventory. Like I said, turn order and all that here. This is really nice. And I guess I'm really glad that I got the playmat too, because that'll, you know, keep things in place a little bit better usually when you use a playmat, and it doesn't have like the cuts, the slices in the folds, which are fine, not a big deal. But I think I'm excited that I got a playmat for something so impressive looking as this. This is really cool. I really, the art style really speaks to me a lot. This is the type of Gothic art that I've always appreciated. And yeah, it's a big board. It looks like hopefully this is going to cover most of the game space, I would imagine. It's going to be probably this board, what's on it, and then the player boards. So since I don't have a lot of space to play games, this is probably at least going to have me covered. And hopefully we'll be able to play on this small table that we have. Very cool. I really do like the art. Like Doom Legume said, it's an impressive looking game. Or the art is really impressive. I think it's an impressive looking game. But all right, let's get to the punch cards. Wow. These are very cool looking too. These are the masks that I don't remember what they do, but I know they're an important part of the game. I see pain, hate, calm. There's one that I wish I had. Devotion, chaos, inciter. I guess inciter is an emotion? Or maybe they're not all emotions. Maybe they're just masks to represent different archetypes and concepts. So really cool design on these. Very expressive, all of these masks. Very haunting. Nice color. You know, the amount of detail in all the art is very impressive. They really went to the highest degree, it seems like, to add a lot of interesting detail. Oh, and cool. There's a lot of rules mechanics for the different masks on the back here. So, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but pain, it looks like once per turn, you can maybe take a damage or use a resource, a blue crystal, to draw a number of cards equal to your damage. That's pretty cool. Wisdom, your active progress card limit is increased by 2. So cool. These aren't just fancy looking components. These are things that tell you what is happening in the game and different bonuses you might have or effects you might have on the flip side. So that's really cool. I really like that hate mask, kind of this cool, like deer or wolf's head. I don't know, kind of canine looking, yeah, like a wolf's head. A lot of cool ones there. Here we've got haste, fear, tough, false, luck. So more masks, more creepy stuff that we're going to discover over the course of the game. Like I said, pretty high quality components. Even the punch card around the board has got these cool embellishments. It's probably going to end up wanting to keep those because they're really neat looking. I really like that. More mechanics on them. Looks like there's a ghost mask, which is pretty cool. So, we got this awesome bird skull. I think one of my board gaming friends might really appreciate that aesthetic. If you're out there, Casey, it seems like something that you would enjoy. Yeah, really cool. That's like a rabbit mask. I like the luck one a lot with the horseshoe and the clovers. That's really cool. Yeah, these are cool. You'll probably be gaining these over the course of your adventure. Here we have some of our dreamers. So these must be your player boards. Yeah, they are. Discard and influence deck. This is like kind of your player's panel that you're going to be using when you're playing any particular character. So there's the Free Spirit and the Gambler. Those are two of the main characters that you can play as. Two of the Dreamers. The other two are the Specialist and the Tough Guy. And then over the course of the game, you can unlock new archetypes to play as. that are going to get modified, or I don't know if they're new or modified versions, something like that. And I also see that there's the key token here, kind of like those metal keys that we unboxed at the beginning or unpackaged at the beginning. So that's probably going to be replaced by the metal ones that I got for being a Kickstarter backer. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the tough guy. He's got kind of a like gladiatorial style, it looks like. Cool, like Roman helmet. The specialist is wearing like half of a lab coat and then an armored shoulder pad or something. The characters, I mean, they're dreamlike, right? So sometimes they're going to look kind of modern. Sometimes they might have kind of classical styles. The gambler has got like a cool coat and like a frilly skirt on. She's the character who takes chances and rolls the dice. And then the free spirit has like kind of a cool military jacket along with what looks like an aviator's helmet or something. Pretty cool. Like that. And then the backs of each board have this really cool mask design also. That's just the same across all, it looks like. But more stuff here. I see the stunned and dazed condition markers that describe the condition. I really like that. I really like it when a game makes it easy to remember what conditions do by printing the text on the card. It looks like dazed and poisoned are flip sides, paralyzed and stunned. So you can just use these tokens, I guess, to see what your conditions are. Got some letter tokens here, some different wounds or something. I'm not sure what these red ones are, because like I said, I haven't read the rules yet in their entirety. But yeah, nice touch to include the actual mechanics for each of the conditions on the tokens. Very cool. And then these look like the modified versions of the different dreamers. So this is the free spirit, but a different version. She's like wearing this gauzy dress and has this cool mask on. We've got the gambler, who's now wearing like a jester's hat and has got the cards flipping down from her hands. I know that you do get to level up later on in the game and start playing new versions of your characters, which is pretty cool. I see these different tokens like the Tormentor, probably some kind of monster you're going to be facing in the dream world. Belshazzar, the Sentinel, the Automaton. Lots of cool stuff. I think some of these tokens might get replaced by minis in the box of the creatures of Etherfield that I got. I'm just guessing that based on the setup, but it feels like an educated guess. So yeah, here's the new specialist and tough guy. The specialist is now blindfolded, it seems like, in this modified version. See if I can get a good angle for you there. And the tough guy, wow. He just looks like he becomes a tank with a giant pickaxe, ready to fight off some dream spirits. And some more tokens. The Warden, the Masked Man, the Candle. And then here's the last chipboard sheet. Bunch of triangles with different symbols. And on the back, aha. These all seem to correspond with different story points or something. So yeah, I see a bunch of different numbers. Different dreamers are shown here, so each one must correspond to maybe some personal stories or something for different characters. That's pretty cool. Lot of tokens and components. We'll have to figure out fun ways to sort that, unless maybe that's already included in the box. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, a lot of very good graphic design on everything so far. Very impressed with the detail. Even just like these basic little, whatever these purple swirly tokens are, like there's a lot of crisp detail in the artwork for those. All right. So there's the punch cards. What's next? Let's bring this over here so that you can kind of get another look at what's going on in the box. What do we have here? Ah, envelopes. I think these might be for saving your progress or something like that. Kind of cool. Just foldable little envelopes to keep cards or components in. Sorry, there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Kind of cool. That statue style design. A dreamer, probably. Most important component in every board game. Don't want to have any issues with moisture. We got a really cool plastic topper here with the Etherfields logo. All right, so obviously now we're getting into the stuff that's really fun to see in an unboxing video. The minis and the plastic. We got a lot of cool stuff in here, and it's very nicely protected. I was really impressed with how the shipping box was packed, because it's this giant box, right? Like I said, this is a heavy game. There's other stuff in there. The sides were a little banged up because it came here all the way from Poland. You know, I'm in California, so that's a bit of a trip. So I was concerned, but Awakened Realms really knows how to pack a box. There's a ton of air, styrofoam to block everything. So the game itself is in pristine condition, even though the shipping box, you know, whoever was handling it, I won't name any names. They were a little rough on it, but that's okay. All right, let's take a look at all these fun bits and baubles here. I do wish I remembered what all these different tokens did from my read-through, but we'll figure it out. So I think these are like generic counters here, these little white pebbles. Just a little domed thing. Not like, you know, super flashy, but it's a nice large piece that, you know, they didn't just use like a punch out cardboard or something. Like, they gave you these tokens that are like weighty and kind of cool and fun to handle. I always love these. Here's some of the blue crystals. I know that's different. I've seen in this component in different board games. Just these little plastic gems. Again, like, you could probably do this with the same effect with a cardboard piece or a punch board piece, but it's kind of cool to have something tactile that you can play with and have like little artifacts that go along with your game, like those metal keys. Like, you know, if you're collecting blue gems, whatever these represent in the game, it's going to be cool to have something that you can kind of play with while you're sitting there worrying about the decision you're making and whether or not you're missing something on the map as you're looking for hidden secrets and paths unseen. And it looks like there's two more of those little domed discs. I know the red ones are like wounds, something like that. And then the white and the clear, I know, represent two different features in the game. I just can't remember what exactly they are. But again, nice to have something that you can handle and kind of futz with and just have that little extra bit of production value that goes into it. And, you know, this was obviously a game that cost me a bit, so it's nice to get something to show off for it. Here's some stands for standees. Basic component, not anything, you know. But, you know, it's got a nice wide base. Probably not going to fall over if the table gets jostled as I jostle the camera. All right, what's next? Got some little plastic bits here. 4 of each. Yellow, red, and green. I see a little eyeball. I see like a Cthulhu tentacle. And like a lightning bolt. Not sure what these mean. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Doomed. I wish you could come over and unbox this with me and then play around. But we're about to go into probably an even worse lockdown here in California. So not much we can do about that right now. So here's the red one. Little lightning bolt kind of deal. Probably might be a little hard to see the detail. My camera's not the best. But that's pretty good, yeah. Here's the tentacle. Yellow triangle. I think that's getting blown out real bad by my camera, or by my lighting. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can shade it a little bit. Nah, it's going to be hard to see. This one's cool. This might be my favorite of these little ones. The green eye. That's pretty neat. I don't know what these tokens do in the game, but they're really, really cool. And then, what game is complete without some people's favorite component of all time, the dice. Looks like we got 2 dice in this game. A yellow die and a gray die. They seem to have different faces. The symbols on these are not quite as self-explanatory as some of the components that show the actual rules for them. But we've got 3 dots on here, an arrow, another arrow, a single dot, 2 dots, an X. It's usually not a good thing. A few different arrows with different symbols, arrow and a plus. Regular arrow and a super fast arrow. You can tell with the zoom lines on that one. But yeah, nice carved dice with a cool kind of border around them. I like that little border that's on each one. Kind of simple and effective. I don't like it when dice try to do too much or try to include too many little symbols that make them hard to read. Some games have a good layout that it works with. Like the Dice Masters games tend to put a lot of information on the die, but it reads pretty well. But this one, these are nice. Give them a little test roll here. I got fast arrow and stick. Maybe that's a good result, maybe not. All right, let's see. I kind of want to save the minis for last because they're kind of the coolest part, right? Like when you're really getting into the look of something, the minis are really what shows off. So let's take a quick look at some of the cards. Probably not going to unpack the cards right now because I know that some decks need to be sorted or shuffled. Some decks need to be kept the same way. I don't want to make any mistakes and accidentally unpack a card that needs to stay the way it is. So we'll probably just kind of take a look at some of these dividers. And maybe I'll show you the fronts and backs of each or some of the packs. But we'll probably keep these in their packing for now. So I hope that's okay with you. All right. So here's a divider here. It's got what I would recognize as a recycling logo on the top there. So I don't know if this is for looks like we might be having some technical problems here. Nope. Is everything running all right? Cool. We were having a little bit of stutter there. Hopefully it didn't affect you too much. Yeah, so this has got like a recycling logo at the top there. Don't know which camera it looks better on. Hopefully the zoomed in one. This is a similar looking one without the recycling symbol. Kind of cool, spooky looking castle. On there. I like that. Looks like a scary, fun place. Like I said, reminiscent of Bloodborne in my opinion. I don't know if that was a direct inspiration or if I'm just noticing connections that aren't necessarily there. So these ones don't seem to tell you what they are dividers for, but I know the rules kind of do a color coding thing. So we'll check that out when we get to it. And we're probably going to do a live play of this before too long, Chelsea and I. We've been trying to figure out what campaign game we want to play next. And Chelsea, lucid dreamer that she is, was really excited about Etherfields. So this is probably going to end up being the one we do. Okay, cool. So here's the tiles. This part very much reminds me, if you're familiar with the Seventh Continent, if you've played the Seventh Continent, where you build like a map as you go. This seems to kind of follow a similar style. So these are the map tiles in these little packs. They're marked, like this one says setup, yeah. So they give you an idea. But these are where you're going to be moving around and doing the action of the game.
The plastic is making it hard to see.
The plastic is making it hard to see. Bummer. I'm afraid to open these, but let's see if we can maybe get the lighting. We don't have the best lighting set up. We're very new to this. Hopefully you can kind of make out some of the detail. This is like a cool foresty tile here. Sorry if it's a little bit glary. So I see Assault 6, red lightning bolt symbol. Check the red altar, and then it looks like you go to S.234 if you succeed at that, fail at that, I don't know. Probably succeed. But yeah, so this is like a place you can go in the dream that seems like a foresty path. Here is this weird looking village maybe with like a tin house and like a ladder climbing up. Looks like each tile is divided into like 4 quadrants. I tried to read the rules, but I didn't get completely through them. I wanted to go ahead and show this stuff off to you guys. Chelsea's helping me figure out the best angle to show off these components. They're not going to look perfect. That's just unfortunately the way it is. That's kind of the problem with a game like this where the components have a lot of detail. I want to show them off to everybody on the stream, but it's hard to show all the detail on a camera, especially on cheap webcams like we use. Here's looks like a collapsed roadway. Probably one with a lot of dangers on it. Giant rats. What's a fantasy game without giant rats? Looks like they use tiles for maps and monsters, which is kind of a cool design choice. I like that. Hopefully you can see these neat rats here. Get an idea. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. I like these guys. I always like giant rats. They're fun to deal with in games. Here's like a stormy mountain. There's a lot of these tiles, by the way. Like, easily hundreds, I would say. Each of these packs looks like they might be maybe 20 or so tiles. Slumber. The slumber tiles. I like that kind of red, spooky look. This is just like an ocean with some seagulls flying around. Gate to a New Dream. Hard work in the dream's factory. Baleful spiders. I hope nobody has arachnophobia out there too bad, because these are some gigantic, creepy looking dream spiders. But very cool looking. Yeah, and then this is just one with a lot of text here. So, welcome to the arena. I hope that's not a spoiler. So those are the tiles. Like I said, I'm not going to open up those packs because I'm afraid that I'm going to get something disorganized. But I will say I appreciate this nice plastic insert that keeps everything nice and organized in the box. And it looks like it's even designed to like protect this from getting bent when you have the dividers in there. You got a little bit of lift there. A lot of nice stuff like that. Here's some more dividers. It looks like I see one of the characters. I think the Free Spirit there at the top of this one. So that's probably where you keep their character deck. And otherwise, they'll probably be similar to the other ones. Do not open this deck until you unlock the secret mode. That's a pretty unambiguous statement. We will not be opening this deck until we unlock the secret mode. Do not open this deck until you unlock the secret mode 1 and 2. And I'm guessing these are 3 and 4. 3, 4. So we will keep those under lock and key. Good thing the game came with some keys. We'll assume the locks are in the mine since this is Etherfields, a dream-based game. Okay, here's one of the Free Spirits cards. As long as this card is on the top of your deck, you can perform the action below. Free Spirit. Discard this card and spend any number of spirit tokens to gain one of the plastic tokens per spirit token spent. So that seems to be one of her action cards. Don't know if that's a basic or an advanced one, but that's that. Here's the back of the influence cards. I like when a game uses very obvious UI to tell you what each card is. This one just says influence right there. Shining. Oh, look, a penny. And if you are in a particular space, gain one of those blue plastic tokens. With some cool artwork of a woman holding some kind of dreamy item there. Obviously, a lot of time went into the art for this game. Here's the flow card. Looks like somebody's riding a parasail in a dreamy world. I like each of the cards seems to kind of evoke different dreams or common, imagery from dreams and dream myth and fiction and everything. Mud diving equipment. We've got this guy in a old-timey scuba suit or whatever they called those, diving suit. We've got the turnkey. I have no idea what's going on this card, but I see a shirtless man in a creepy mask. Maybe part of this is going to be kind of like that game Mysterium where you have to interpret cards in certain ways. I don't know. This is a wisdom card. Can always use more wisdom cards in my life. Protege. This card is active until the dream ends. I don't even know what's going on this one, but it's neat looking. Wish I had a better camera to show you off all these details, but this is what I'm stuck with. So, a rusty shovel. I'm getting major Seventh Continent vibes from some of the stuff. the map exploration and the mundane and also bizarre items that you're probably going to find along the way. And this is the Fate part of the Fate deck, which you probably saw the slot for on the board when I showed that off. Hopefully you could see it. Shopping! Each dreamer may buy influence cards. If you choose this, but you decide not to buy any cards, gain a blue thing, and then other options if you choose not to do that. Looks like even dreams have time for a little shopping spree. Another shopping card. Shopping must play a big role in this game, which is nice because, you know, you're going to be upgrading your deck, probably buying new equipment and stuff. You're going to want, you know, a chance to see what you can get. And more wisdom cards. Thorn Knight. I think I bought a Thorn Knight mini as an extra, or maybe I got it for being a first day backer. They must not have, maybe they haven't gotten that yet. Maybe that's in the second wave or something. Or maybe it's in the box and I'm just not aware. But this is a wisdom card for the Thorn Knight on the back here. And then perilous trophy, or precious. Perilous or precious? What's the difference these days, right? Precious trophies. So there's a little sneak preview of the cards. Like I said, I don't want to pull all those open because they are some index that you don't want to separate, some that you do. This is the part that I've been the most excited for, though. Hopefully it's the one you've been most excited about, too. The first thing that I've noticed with every Awaken Realms Kickstarter is the minis. They're just super cool. I don't know what else to say. They look really good. They seem like they're highly detailed. I didn't splurge for the extra. I think this game had an option to get them like shaded with a particular technique that they use to kind of bring out the highlights. In my head, I had this ambition that maybe I'd start to learn how to paint minis and stuff, and I bought like a painting kit, but I haven't been brave enough. I certainly would not start with one of my biggest, most expensive mini-heavy games. If I was going to start painting minis, I'd like practice, but that's besides the point. I'm looking at these. I'm very impressed. I'm ready to start showing them off. I hope you're ready to check them out. I already see what is probably going to be my favorite mini and possibly Doomed Legume's favorite mini. So, you know, normally I wouldn't jump the gun like this, but let's go ahead and check out the penguin with a top hat and a briefcase. I mean, come on. Is there a more perfect creature? Look at him. Look at his long penguin-y nose. Look at his dapper hat. Look at his business-like suitcase. Look at the cobblestone road that he's walking on. These have great bases. I'm impressed. I really am. He even looks like he's wearing a mask. I don't know if you can see the detail, but you can see his feathers, like the furry feathers down his back. That's a lot of detail. Whoever did the sculpts for this, my top hat is off to you, or my beanie's off to you, or whatever. This is super cool. I'm sorry. I don't mean to gush too much, but that's a neat mini. And I see a lot of neat minis. And holy hell, okay. Some of these are a little hard to interpret because it's like a dream world that we're inhabiting in Etherfields. This is like an archway of roses or plants. It's a lot of little detail that is just, you know, you might have to run out and get yourself a copy. I don't know. To see it in person. It's really neat looking. Can't quite make it out exactly what it's supposed to be, but I think that is... Oh! Haha. These are hands. These are hands with flowers wrapped around them. Gripping something. That was my bad. That was no way was that a problem of the sculpt. I just wasn't looking close enough because I'm trying to not just talk about it and not show you guys what we're looking at. This is a really cool one. Here's the first player mini, which is the 4 masks of the main characters, I believe. The 4 main dreamers. You give this to the first player every turn or every round and just demarcates who the first player is. I don't know what that means mechanically exactly, but this is the token that tells you who that is. Alright, here's one of the dreamers who seems like one of their arms is turning into a wing. This is probably the free spirit. She's got that one-legged pose that always makes me nervous, but these seem like pretty well constructed minis, so I don't think I'm too worried about that. If it was if it was some minis, I might be a bit more concerned, but these seem like they're pretty thick plastic and well made. Yeah, you saw that penguin, huh, Sam? It's pretty fucking rad. Sorry. I guess this is now no longer an all ages stream, but yeah, it's really cool. Oh, you know what? I think this is not the free spirit, because this is the one with the like pilot's helmet and a really cool base there. Nice detail on the ground. Yeah, like I said, I don't mean to gush too much, but these are really nice. I'm definitely glad that I splurged for the box of extra minis. Here's another character who's like walking on some stilts. He's got his mask on. Very important these days. Different type of mask, though. He's on some kind of, I don't even know how to describe the base. It's like a cog. It looks like he's standing on a cog, walking on these weird stilts. And he's got this feathery, this is maybe this must be the specialist. It looks like he's got the lab coat and then that padded jacket maybe, and some goggles. Really cool bits of detail all throughout it. And that means this is probably the tough guy. This looks like the tough guy. This is definitely a mini that I could see appropriating for a D&D character or something. Because he looks like he is ready for battle. He's got his pickaxe. He's got the sweet helmet. This cool cloak. He's got like a Roman crest, it looks like. He's standing on a battlefield. Actually, he's standing on like a lion's face. That might not come out very well in the camera here, but there's like a lion's faced symbol beneath his feet. I mean, they went into a lot of detail to get these minis sculpted. And I like to give credit to artists who really deserve it. And the mini artists, or artists, I'm sure, really deserve credit for these. The base details are really nice. You know, you could just have plain bases, but it looks much nicer. This might be the free spirit. She seems to have some like feathers and this cool brocade coat. A lot of detail there.
Those look like tentacles to me.
These look like tentacles to Chelsea. They might be. It's hard to tell. They're kind of feathery, though. Could be both. This is a dream world that we're dealing with. That one's very cool. All right, here's a muscly bird-faced man. Big, beefy bird boy. Don't know if he's got hollow bones, but he looks pretty muscular. similar detail as the penguin with the feathers and other like kind of furry lines to give that extra bit of oomph. This game's going to have an amazing table presence, I can tell. He's wearing like a cool kilt or skirt of some kind. Looks like he's ready to fight. Got those fists balled up. These are definitely going to be some of the coolest minis I have. Here we have like a crone. I'm still getting these big Bloodborne vibes from this game. This reminds me of the witches from Bloodborne. She's kind of hunched over. She's got this beak-like nose. Very bird-like crone woman. I don't know.
Or the Hag Ravens from Skyrim.
Or the Hag Ravens from Skyrim. Good call. They stand a little more erect, though, don't they? Maybe not. It's been a while. Any way you slice it, this is probably someone you don't want to run into in a dream, because that dream would very quickly become a nightmare. If I know witches that you've angered, of course, then I know you don't want to mess with them. I know lots of good witches, too, so that's a different story, but I'm assuming that Etherfields isn't just about making friends. I'm assuming it's about running away from scary things and confronting them. So a lot of bird-style imagery in the dreams of Etherfields. This bird guy is like perched on a branch. Got that beak. Looks like he's maybe lurking above the heroes. Ready to pounce down, maybe? Flap down with those. Doesn't really have wings. He definitely has the crest and feathered look and the beak. Yeah, a lot of bird-looking imagery and masks and stuff. Here's another one. Oh, okay. So check this out. This is super cool. So you got your bird dude. Looks spooky. All that. He's got all of his, cool pose and everything. But take a look at that back leg. That back foot. Looks like he's holding something. That he's maybe a rock or something in his talon foot. Maybe he can throw it with that. Or he's like picking up some dirt or something. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. Just because of the scale. But it definitely looks like he's holding a rock. So maybe he's going to distract the dreamers with his hands. But secretly be ready to whip a rock at him or something. That's my interpretation. This is a dream world. So a lot of the game and the threats and everything are going to have to do with interpretation, I imagine. Okay. Here's another spooky friend. I also see a lot of gears and cogs. Here's a little dude with a weird mask and a cowboy hat, standing on a really cool planked floor. And on his back, he's got a big old gear and a shovel. Kind of like that rusty shovel that we saw in the card pack, huh? I really like the floor that he's standing on. He's a creepy looking dude. That mask is pretty scary. It's kind of stitched up. Pretty creepy. Pretty cool. He's holding he's holding a wrench. Maybe he's just trying to fix something, but I have a feeling he might be trying to fix the dreamers' skulls. Maybe I've played too many games where everybody's trying to kill you. I don't know. Oh, this is... Alright, here's one of my favorites here. This dude with the lamppost. Saber, wand, something. Sweet top hat. Cool cloak. Standing in another cobbled street. Yeah, I don't know if that's a lamppost or if he's holding that as like a walking stick. It's hard to tell if just because of the way it's mounted on the ground. Not like it's hard to tell because the sculpt is bad or anything. Just I don't know what the intention of the design is there. Seems like he might be walking around with it. And also, his top hat is covered in eyes. Oh boy. So he can see you from all angles, it seems like. Or somebody can see you from all angles. More bird imagery here. This cool feathered headdress and this long beaked mask. And a cane. Standing on this spiraling, looks like arcane symbol on the ground. Cool details on, like, all the way down the mask, like carvings, like a carved skull almost. Gorgeous, gorgeous sculpts. One more in this tray. Ah, this is like a wolf-headed fellow. That's a spooky one too. Stalking, I'm guessing. I'm making a lot of assumptions about the non-player minis. Some of them could be your friends. I'm assuming the penguin is your friend, right? Like, he's got to be. Duh. That penguin's not going to hurt you. That penguin's going to invite you to lunch. But this guy, he's a little bit scarier. Again, I'm making a lot of assumptions. Maybe that penguin is a violent dude, but I'm hoping he's our buddy. This one's less likely to be friendly, I'm guessing. They look like they might be hungry, but I don't know if we want to let them have a snack. So there's that tray. I see a couple of impressive more minis in here, though. Alright, here's somebody in a cool dress. This might be the gambler. It looks like those might be the cards that she's fanning down, or pages of some kind. She's standing on this stack of cards or sheets of paper or something that she's dropping down from her hand. I think this is reminiscent of the gambler's advanced character card. So these might be the advanced characters. I'm kind of thinking they are, which is very cool. I like that you get a mini for each form of your character. Like, it's not mechanically, again, like, you don't need to do that, but it's a nice touch. There's the back. It's got the skirt kind of billowing around, probably as she's creating tons of force from these cards. This is going to be a fun dream to enter, huh? I'm hoping so. I'm thinking it is. Yeah. Here's the tough guy. Now, with a bandolier, standing on a mountaintop, holding his fist threateningly at whatever might come to confront him. He's got like some kind of, I don't know, engine on his back or something. Cool rocky terrain down beneath him. That's super cool. Fairly good odds that I'll be playing the tough guy in my first playthrough, since tanks are kind of my preferred characters, as you might know if you were watching my Bloodborne stream yesterday, when Boosh 'em Up 6D asked me what my favorite types of characters to play in games are. I said, support and tank characters, frontliners. Alright, here's another one. So maybe those were tentacles on that, whoever that one character was, because these look like tentacles that are some version of what she was wearing. But this is like her angelic form. Not sure, but that is very cool looking. She's like supporting herself on them. And they're like wrapped around the ground with this spiral symbol. The details on the base are really nice. Very few games have the, I don't know, funds or I don't know a lot about the mini sculpting process. I'm assuming it's more expensive to have carved bases and special details like that, and it's going to take obviously a lot more time. But man, it looks really impressive when they do it. I know it wouldn't be a possibility for everyone, but it's very neat. All right, got a few more on the base set here, and we're almost done with the base game of Etherfields. This must be the specialist. And wow. Now come on, that's super impressive. Like I said, a lot of bird imagery, a lot of wings, a lot of flying in your dreams. He's holding like some kind of lantern. The game itself is absolutely a work of art. Or at least consists of tons of little micro works of art. This guy's cool. This is a weighty mini too. This is they're thick. The bases are thick. The plastic is thick, so I'm not too worried about any kind of flimsiness. But he's sitting on like some kind of contraption. And the first mini he was like walking on stilts. It looks like he's incorporated those stilts into this winged device. And he's holding this lantern probably to shed light in the darkness of the dream world. The idea of the game is that, we might all be living in a shared dream, which I think is pretty cool. A nice classic archetype story. Alright, those are the heroes, so that leads me to wonder what these last two are. They are big and oh, you know what? There's the Thorn Knight, I believe, that I was talking about. I remember this from the Kickstarter campaign. That's an impressive looking dude. He's got a lot of spiky bits. He's actually pretty sharp. He kind of lives up to his name even in mini form. A lot of nice detail, a lot of little pointy bits and little angles. I'm assuming that he's probably somebody who's pursuing us. Again, I'm making a lot of guesses because I have not played the game yet, and I haven't really read a lot of the rules or anything, but that is a cool one. I like his helmet a lot, too. Kind of reminds me of, who's the Black Knight who's not Cecil in Final Fantasy IV? His brother. Spoilers for, 25-year-old game, but I'm just drawing a blank. That's okay. Anybody in the comments remembers Cecil's brother's name from Final Fantasy IV, let me know. Alright, one more mini. But it is not that many. Oh, actually, wow. Oh, wow. Ta! Okay. We got a lot to talk about here. Golbez. Golbez is Cecil's brother. Again, spoilers for a 25-year-old game. This is not mini at all, and there's a lot going on this sculpt. I don't know who this is, but she is some kind of goddess sitting in a tree with a weird dream deer monster behind her. Here, there's the woman. Here's this tree. The tree base is very detailed. There's like a bed of grass beneath it. She's sitting in this twining tree. The monster that's behind her, or whatever it is, this creature with this long neck and tail. And of course, the ever-present mask. Everybody in this world seems to wear a mask because it's a dream world. And we're never really quite sure who anybody really is, are we? In our dreams. This thing is crazy. I'm pretty sure this is one of the minis that really caught my eye during the campaign. I remember seeing it now. And there's a lot going on. This is definitely a set piece, a showpiece type mini for any mini fans out there. Which I'm assuming a lot of you probably are if you're watching. This thing's got this crazy long-fingered hand, foot hand. Looks like it's a foot that could easily like use a keyboard or, you know, a calculator. I was gonna say abacus for some reason. This thing is rad. I think I might have a new like set piece for my mini collection. And the monster is wearing a necklace of swords. Come on. A necklace of swords? Where do I sign up? That's so rad. It's really impressive looking. This thing is very cool. I'm not going to say it's worth the price of admission because I want to play the game, but it's definitely super cool. Between this and the penguin, like my favorite mini from this set is going to be really hard to determine. So that looks like everything from the core box. And I am pleased. Obviously, I got to play the game to really like have a full assessment, but from a strictly aesthetic, visual perspective, Etherfields has definitely delivered. And you know, since minis are so much fun to look at, why don't we take it this time? We'll keep going, and we'll unbox the creatures of Etherfield. Since I think a lot of that's going to be more minis, which is going to be more fun for a lot of folks, we'll put the keys back in the box here, I think, so I don't lose them. But yeah, this is definitely going to have to stand, or this is definitely going to stand as one of my most impressive looking games currently. I'm guessing that it will probably hold that title at least until Tainted Grail arrives. Since that's the same company, I'm assuming they're using similar sculpts and everything. And sorry, E-Cookie, not interested in being famous. Nice try. Gotta get Chelsea set up as a moderator. Thanks for the views, I guess, bot, if that's the thing. I'm new to this whole Twitch thing, so I have no idea how it works, but it seems like bots are always trying to get my business. Little do they know, I have a secret weapon against people trying to get me to sign up for their services. I am poor, especially after buying a hefty game like Etherfields. But that was a while ago. Alright. The creatures of Aetherfield. Still getting those Bloodborne vibes. Big top hat thing. There's a cool looking box. Dude's reading a book. Gotta respect that. What do we have here? So, here's a little list of what's in the box here. The creatures of Etherfield, their names. That's super helpful because I had no idea what anything was called, except for some of the Dreamers in that last set. Aether Wolf is one of them, and that seemed like a sweet band name. So I believe this was just a box of minis to kind of expand your experience because, I mean, if you're going to have a really impressive table presence with a game like Etherfields, you're kind of going to want minis to like go along with everybody, right? Don't want to have these sweet bosses and stuff and be like, oh, but I'm just like fighting tokens. I mean, that's fine. That works. It's mechanically, it's fine. But this was a game that I thought I really wanted to be able to show off with. So we've got our picture to show how everything fits back in the box. Nice detail. Ah, it even shows the empty vacuum pack or vacuum form pack. Well, we were impressed. I'm sure you were too. I was impressed with the last set. This does not seem like it's going to be any less impressive. So let's dig in, because these are super cool. These minis are really good. Oh, no. I'm jumping the gun. Oh, this is adorable. I don't know who this is, but it's like a little box robot. I don't know if it's a kid in a box robot outfit, or if it's actually an animated stack of boxes. But it's standing in like a library or something with a book on the floor. It's got his little sword and its little box feet. Has anyone seen the movie Dave Made a Maze? One of my favorite movies. This is like a monster that they would have met in Dave Made a Maze. It's so cool. It's so cute. I love this guy. Alright, next we have an angelic figure. Seems like. Nice, yeah. Chelsea and I are big fans of creative movies like Dave Made a Maze, and that one is a really good one. This is just like a cool angel lady. I don't know, in a weirdly sexy pose, but I guess it's a dream. So maybe this is one of those times when like the sexy poses make sense, because dreams are weird and they are like reflections of our desires, right? I've heard my dreams are almost exclusively like annoying things where I have lost my shoes and I have to go through like 30 rooms to find my shoes that I'm never going to find. I don't get fun adventures, unfortunately. But man, this is a Nice one. This is a mini from Nice. No, this is a nice mini. These are all nice minis. Okay. This is like a headless dude in fancy clothes with like birds flapping around his head, obscuring his face, if he even has a face. Really neat detail on the birds, though. Like I said, a lot of birds. I keep having to mention the birds, but they're like in every single mini. Do you have a lot of dreams with birds? Am I just missing it because I'm always looking for my shoes? I don't know. Do you think there's a mission in this game to find a pair of shoes that you can never find? Then it'd be like one of my dreams. That's cool. A lot of detail on all of these. I know I keep saying Bloodborne, but come on. If you've played Bloodborne, look at this. This is a hunter. Just straight up. Got their lamp, lighting the way, their long trench coat, a fancy hat. If they were inspired by it, God bless them. That's fine. And if not, I'm wrong, and you know this dream imagery might just be a little bit more universal than I'm giving it credit for, but I love the aesthetic. It's very gothic. Very interesting. Very creative, too. A lot of interesting creative details. Here's the Aether Wolf. And again, like, if I can start a metal band, like gothic power metal, is that a thing? Aether Wolf is like the perfect name for that. I don't know what's going on. It looks like he's like writhed in ethereal energy or power. But that is super cool. Again, like a lot of these minis could easily be grabbed for your D&D or other RPG campaigns. I'm assuming that at least some people bought the game mainly for the minis. I was enticed by the minis, but also interested in the theme and gameplay. Oh, okay, well, here's a great mimic for your D&D game. I'm assuming this is like just a spooky cabinet that has a monster inside of it. Like, you know, We're all familiar with that. No, like in a dream, right? In a nightmare. But it'd be a really cool mimic too. Look at him. Look at those sharp teeth popping out of this armoire. Even nice detail on the back. Oh, what's this? Not a problem. Turn around, come to the front, and eaten. Don't you hate it when that happens? I like this one a lot too. I like all of these. Here's maybe the Wolfling I saw name on one of them. I'm assuming that the other one's the Aether Wolf and this is the Wolfling because this one is smaller. But it's got these kind of like dire wolf spines coming out of its back. And that's very cool. This kind of creepy, low, lunging, lurching pose. Spooky, right? Okay. Here's some kind of golem. Got kind of a steampunk, like diving suit style going on there. Carrying a big drill, it seems like. Again, I don't think this is going to be like a friendly fellow that you meet along the way. I would love it if it is, but it looks like it's out to cause us harm. I have to assume that this is a violent threat that you're going to fight in the dream world. It is cool to get away from like the usual fantasy tropes, which I'm, I play plenty of games that follow in the usual fantasy tropes, but like we're fighting these weird dream monsters in Etherfields. That's really cool. It's very unlike anything else I've seen. It's like a Guillermo del Toro movie in board game form. And, make sure in the comments to leave your favorite del Toro movie. Mine is probably Pan's Labyrinth, but I really like the first Hellboy movie, too. Frog with butterfly wings. Just normal things. Stuff you see every day. Butterfrog. Obviously, his name is Butterfrog. If that is not the name of the monster in the game, it now is officially canon. This is Butterfrog. I love this guy. He's so cute. Make sure to put him back in here the right way so we don't break his poor wings off. Here's Spooky Mask Hat Man. I'm assuming also the character name. He's got his big Nightmare Before Christmas mayor's hat on. He's holding the mask up to his face, so he's got one of those stick masks. It looks like he's maybe greeting us, asking us to enter, or pointing us towards something. He's also got a broken mask at his feet. And this creepy, like, Renaissance style tunic. A nice mantle. I was just saying last night while playing Bloodborne, I need more coats with mantles. Like, you really can't go wrong. If it's good enough for Harry Dresden, it's good enough for me. Nice hat ribbon there. This seems like an important character that we're going to meet along the way. And similar to the armoire here, this looks like another set of drawers with some kind of dream spirit lingering above it. I don't know what's going on there, but it's cool looking. It's like got its legs coming out of the drawers. Things might not be what they seem in Etherfields. Sometimes a pipe is just a pipe, but sometimes a chest of drawers is a horrible monster waiting to eat your face. That's what my mom always told me, at least. Yep. Let's see. What do we have here? Some kind of marionette-style dancer or something with a rapier, a dueling knife. It looks like she's got a cool mask on too. Yes, very Alice in Wonderland style. Creepier Alice in Wonderland. There's actually quotes from like Lewis Carroll in the Rulebook. I forgot to mention that. There's quotes by Lovecraft and Carroll and other like classic authors of creepy fantasy, cosmic horror, supernatural stuff. She's very impressive looking. Somebody who we might want to ally with if we can. Based on those swords. Now this next one's super cool. Here's another one I remember very well from the campaign. We'll see if we can give you all the details. So, look in the foreground there. Here's like a dude standing here leaning his head against the wall. But the wall has this creepy monster. There's the wall. There's the creepy monster. There's the dude offering himself to the creepy monster. Nope. Like I said, these are well made. Good thing. I don't know. He's like leaning into it, and this terrifying creature is looming above him. Maybe we'll learn more about why that is in the narrative of the game as we read the descriptions of things that are going on, but that is very spooky and very cool. And raises more questions than it provides answers. Alright, here's another creepy bird thing. This game could also be called Creepy Bird Things. It's got a long, spooky neck. And these very cool, full wings. And then some weird, like, legs that seem to extend out of the wings. I mean, dream physiology doesn't need to make sense, right? Like that's probably a cool, creative, extra, liberty for the sculptors and artists. Doesn't have to make sense. It just has to look badass, and a lot of these look really badass, and like things that you don't want to meet in dark alleys of the mind. Oh yeah. I'm getting big, like, Dark Souls, Bloodborne boss vibes from this headless monster wielding some kind of sharp shell of death. Smashing it into this floor, it seems like. Maybe this is a boss monster or, like, a mini-boss or something. I don't know.
It looks like it's wielding its own head as a weapon.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I just saw its face. It does have a face, like, underneath. It's like the top of its head is sawed off, like, right at the top of the skull. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's the top of its head, and it's, like, smashing down with it. Sorry, I just smashed down to my mic. But yeah, it does have a face down there beneath with, like, a long hair, and then the top of its skull is all cut open. And there's a face inside the top of its skull, or on the top of its head. That's some wild stuff. Yeah, very reminiscent of like stuff from games. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna assume that there's some overlap there or some inspiration there because Dark Souls and Bloodborne and the other From games are so influential in a lot of dark fiction these days, a lot of dark fantasy fiction. Here's a cool, like, elk monster, maybe similar to that one that's wrapped around the large mini from the first box. Some masks down at the base. These cool antlers. A double tail. Cool imagery there. A lot of detail. A lot of little lines. I see that it's wearing, like, I don't know if it's like a saddle or if it's just its back, but there's like a face in the back. That's very creepy and cool. It's got like a scepter or something. I don't know if maybe these are like other dreamers. Maybe these are people that, you know, have been part of the shared dream, who turn themselves into like cool animal forms. That's possible, right? If the conceit of the game is that we all live in a shared dream, then anyone you meet could be, anything you meet could be another dreamer. Okay, here's another goddess sitting on like a pedestal. Goddess-like entity with this big disc at her back, wearing gossamer robes like you'd expect a goddess to be doing. Possibly sitting on some kind of shrine or altar. And then we go to the backside. And we see more of the creepy imagery of this world. She also seems to have a tail. A big puffy, like, fox's tail or something. Again, nice heavy weight to it. Lots of nice detail in the robes and the gossamer threads. I mean, I think this one kind of speaks for itself, right? We've all seen these. Elk centaur with a spear. I mean, it's not really a centaur, right? But, like, elk with feet hands and a spear? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. I know that the ground is super cool underneath him. With, like, this sun motif. Seems to have, like, an armored underbelly carriage type of thing. Roiling fur that almost looks like it could be living, moving detail. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these creatures have a face on their back. A lot of these, like, really inhuman looking creatures do seem to still have the mask incorporated somewhere into their design. Also, that's a really sweet spear. I like that. Halberd? I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's super cool looking and really pointy. It's got like a horn laying on the ground, the sun motif over here. Cool antlers. Alright, we're getting to the end of the box here. Just a few more, and they're all big uns. Birds, creepy birds with big bloated bellies and long necks and asymmetrical wings. 1, 2, 3 wings? Is that practical? I don't know. Probably not, but again, dream physiology doesn't have to make sense. Sitting on a branch or a tree above a roiling sea of dream-like effluvia. More stuff that we don't want to meet in the dark corners of our dreams. Here's another angelic figure wrapped around in these ribbons and kind of doing this flying, dancing maneuver here. You can see her leg flying out behind her. All these ribbons and lines and everything. It seems like the ground is kind of like her hair or her dress, maybe, like trailing down beneath her, fanning out on the floor. Really cool. Really impressed with all the detail in all of these. Let's see, that's the back. Here's the front. All right. I saved the last two for the ones that seemed like they were probably going to be my favorites. They were also at the end of the set, but... giant dude carrying a bird-headed staff, walking on books and sheets of paper, wearing a sweet hat that I am very jealous of. Carrying the lantern, lighting his way through the dream world. Lots of detail. There's even like lines of script on the book. I don't know if they're actually, I don't think they're actually legible, but they're cool looking. He's got these cool filigreed shoes. His trench coat, or whatever it is, fanning out behind him. A lot of cool hats in this world. Everyone knows, like, the one thing that I feel like our reality is missing these days is sweet hats. We need more sweet hats. Going to be more like a good apocalypse like Bloodborne. Need to have good hats. One of the keys, just like the little metal ones that were included in the game, down there at his feet. Looks like he's got some cool effects on his back. Some supplies. Very cool. All right, and one more for the creature of the Aetherfield. Nope. We saved the best bird for last. Is this the Grim Reaper for birds? Kind of seems like it. He's got his bird face and kind of a beak-shaped scythe, it seems like, that I do not want to be on the receiving end of. This long, trailing, feathered cape coming down from this mantle of feathers on his back. Long, flowing robes. This is another one that I remember from the campaign that just was really blew my mind at how cool it looked. Cool and creepy. Because creepy is cool. You know, like fun creepy is cool. That's a spooky dude. Spooky bird man. Spooky bird reaper. Really like the detail. Really like the feathering along the side there. Very nice detail. Very nice base. It's kind of this speckled base. This is going to look real good on my table. That's what I know. When all this is out and we're moving pieces around on the board and we've got the cool graphic design and everything, it's going to look impressive. It's also got like some kind of chained pendant coming down. So those are the creatures of Etherfield. There's only one more component, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it all today. Why not? It's Saturday. We don't have anything else to do. Except for eat lunch, probably. Depending on your time zone. In my time zone, I'm getting ready for lunch, but that's okay. We got one more item, and it is the 5th player expansion. So, in the before times, when I used to look at games, I would go, oh man, can I get 5 players to play this game? That's perfect. I'll get the thing that lets me do that. Nowadays, an investment like this is like, well, this is super cool and adds a new character, but like, I can't have one other person to play the game with who doesn't live in my house already. So there's 2 of us, but you don't need a 2-player expansion, do you? I kid mostly, though I would definitely love to be able to have 3 more players come over and play games with Chelsea and I. But for when it is safe again, here is the 5th player expansion. I'm assuming this is the 5th Dreamer, but I don't know anything about her because I've saved it for this unboxing. I love this art. I love this creepy Bloodborne city in the background. I'm being a total dick about this. I don't mean to be. Whatever the inspiration is, it's all super cool. It reminds me personally of one of my favorite games. Probably a lot of things do. I probably see people walking in trench coats down the street and go, oh, that person must play Bloodborne, because I'm ridiculous like that. Can't get it off my mind. Maybe I have a problem. I don't know. Anyways. Very cool art. As Doom Legume noted earlier. Really nice artwork. The Reaper. That is our 5th player. Active progress card. Yeah, that's her. She is called the Reaper. She reaps. She is probably grim. At least in disposition. If she's a Reaper. And here is her advanced form, I'm assuming. I'm assuming the other one is her regular form. And she comes with her own tokens. Like I said, this seems like these triangle tokens correspond to like different story points for particular characters. Looks like she's got her own cards. Oh, kind of a cool... I don't know if you can... Oh, I see. This is... You can put her tokens, like her card, into this slot right here. Again, one of the most important things. Keep your games dry during shipping. She comes with 1 more each of the 3 different colored little chits there. Another base. Another do not open this deck until you unlock secret mode card pack. Her influence cards and something called Born from Pain. Oh, that's sad. But very colorful artwork there. And just 2 more minis. So looks like, I'm guessing, base form, standard form, her original Dreamer form. Where she's got this big scythe. Kind of like that last big bird dude that we saw from the creatures box. Pretty impressive looking though. She's got that like scythe behind her back. Another like long flowing tail. Seems like a lot of flowing bits throughout this game, which makes sense. Dreamlike and ethereal. And I'm assuming you can play as this character without 5 players. That would be my guess. That she's just a character you can decide to play from the start of the game. Here she is in her advanced form, or whatever they're called. Unlocked potential form. Looks like she grows a couple of arms. All the better for fighting, I suppose. Since she's a Reaper, I'm assuming she's a bit of a damage-dealing character or something. Threat abatement. Really cool. Definitely now know that Awaken Realms does minis that look as good when you get them as they do on the mock-ups on the Kickstarters. So I think that's everything. Yeah, like I said, pretty impressed with Etherfields so far. Got to play the game first. So we'll probably be doing a live play, like I said, coming up here soon. Maybe even a full campaign. But, then if we do that, you're going to have to decide if you don't want spoilers or whatnot. But, it'd be a fun journey either way. And you probably won't make the same decisions we make and everything, even if you do watch around. So, we'll see. Anyways, that was my unboxing for Etherfields. Really excited to play. This is Wave 1. I'm not sure when Wave 2 will be arriving, but when it does, I'll certainly be doing another video like this to take a look at all the cool stuff in there. Otherwise, you can catch me when I'm streaming Bloodborne or any other of my games. I've been playing A Way Out with my friend Doom Lagoon. Always interested in new games that people are interested in seeing me streaming. I'm new to this whole thing, so, that's a relative term. What people want to see me playing. But yeah, I don't have a regular schedule yet, but I try to let people know when my videos start, and it would really help you out if you want to watch more of my stuff if you follow my channel. Then you'll get notices whenever I go live. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of hungry, so I'm probably just going to sign off here. Thank you for watching. Please give me a follow. Let me know what you think in the comments or send me a message. We can talk more about board games, other projects I'll be doing in the near future, other games and stuff I'll be streaming. But until then, have a good weekend, and thank you for watching.